Hello, beautiful souls. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to this live workshop. And this is hosted by Teletherapies Limited in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. And today we are going to delve into some intricate knowledge about how to empower your mental health. Fear not that I'm not going to talk about mindfulness or meditation, lock you in a state of sleep. Sure, I promise that I won't do that. Today, I'm going to talk about more in depth of how to empower your mental health, especially your anxiety and emotional resilience amidst your chaos. Because life happens and we have to manage our life as it actually flows. So, I'm going to give you quick 4 practical tips in this workshop. So, stay until the end of this workshop and we would actually jump into the workshop straight away. And so in this workshop, before I could jump into, I would like to create a sense of community. So please do enter your intro, like where you're from and why you joined, what's the reason you joined this workshop, maybe in one word or one line in the chat box. As you're actually doing that, I'm just going to share my screen. So let me introduce myself. So I'm Devi Sundar, founder and director of Therapies Limited. So I have actually dedicated over 2 decades of my life as a respiratory physiotherapist and a psychotherapist. Basically, when we talk about respiratory physiotherapy, more specialized in the respiratory practice and pulmonary rehab, dealing with people with chronic respiratory disease and mental health challenges. And I've also published a few researches and books around breathing better, improving your sleep quality, and how to develop your confidence and resilience. So my mission is to empower individuals to bring up their inner potential and live the life fuller and happier. So today I'm the speaker and the facilitator of this workshop, and I would like you to go away with this simple knowledge of understanding the biology of stress, how it interplays with your emotions, and how your attachment styles interplay with your emotion for your emotional regulation, and 4 practical tips where you can empower yourself and be more confident in whatever you're doing and come out with flying colors in your student life. So, especially this webinar is focused on the mental well being of the students. So, I'm going to give you more data on that. As we flow through. So today's agenda is again, as I mentioned, data around globally and that is in UK mental health crisis, and the universities and students. What's the take of the universities on the students' mental health and the consequences of neglect and essential priorities, and understanding the emotion and stress. And also, as I've mentioned earlier, how your attachment style plays in your emotional regulation, and introducing 4 practical tips to nurture your mental muscle, and finally ending with a question and answer and a closing summary. So a big question here now might pop up in your head: why you should listen to me? Yeah. So at Teletherapies, we actually provide tools that empowers students with more students in the schools, colleges, and universities to empower their emotional regulation and nurture their resilience, because we all have that resilience muscle inside us. And how we can develop that is the key focus here. And also some well-being tools to manage. We offer packages, personalized coaching or one-off sessions, and to help them to travel the journey of the student life. So also we connect. We actually emphasize on the connectedness of our lung, which is the lifeline to our mind to nurture that emotional resilience. So, how we offer this care, as you can see in the slide, we offer the care with the live workshops, and you're in one of the live workshops today. And then book a free one-to-one 30 minutes consultation. If you're committed to nurture that emotional resilience and emotional regulation inside you, so that you can scan the QR code there. And once we actually understand in that 30 minutes session on discussing about what are your challenges and how do you see and what are the things you tried so far, and we offer you a tailored package and a live session, one-to-one session, and our journey, your journey with teletherapies then begins. So this is how we offer the care, and that's why it's very essential today for me to deliver about how is your emotion and stress and the details around it. So before I could actually go into the details, I want your mental health to be in place in this workshop. So a quick team check-in. If you in the next 30 seconds, if you can stick around how you're feeling in the form of emojis, that'll be great in the chat box. I'm still waiting for people to put on. So there might be some technical issues, which I couldn't see any of the things there. So let's move on to the next icebreaker questionnaire. So now let's actually begin with something very good. What was your morning routine today? 30 seconds again. And this workshop applies to also people who are actually watching this as a replay. So please do engage with this icebreaker questionnaire so that you are preparing your mind to get engaged with this next important details, which is on the way. Now, the next question is, what's one small daily habit that helps you boost your mental well-being? Again, 30 seconds. Now, the next question, what's a random act of kindness you did today? One random act of kindness. It can be for yourself or to your fellow human being who you're living with or who you're interacting at work, whatever. So, what is that one kind of kindness act you did today? You can very well write it down in a piece of paper to your personal note if you don't want it exposed publicly. So, that's your choice and right. Now, let's move on to the final question. What one personal or professional goal you're currently working on? Anytime, 30 seconds starts. Now, thank you for engaging in this. And so now let's move on to the real data. Let's begin. So, as I mentioned, the global mental health crisis data, as you can see on the slide there, worldwide, it's an alarming statistics, what you're seeing on the slides. Worldwide, over 800,000 people die by suicide every year, and this is a data from the WHO. And a study by the Lancet Commission revealed that mental disorders account for 32.4% of years lived with disability globally. And depression, again, the global numbers are 264 million people suffer with depression, and this is the leading cause of disability. And this is the data released by IPP, Institute of Public Policy. And again, same Institute of Public Policy also released the data, 1 in 14 people suffer with anxiety. And depression and anxieties are the most common mental health sort of issues affecting the college students and the university students. So it actually impacts the individual, the communities, and as a result, the economy as a whole. Now, the data again from the home, it's taken from the 2022 data, and it's from the Insights Network and Dig Box, where it's led by Dr. Stephen Pereira, a consultant psychiatrist and the lead director. So you can see the data that over 50% of people suffer with self-harm thoughts in 2022 compared to 2017. And there is a stigma persists more than three-fourths concealing their symptoms from their friends. And this is all the data collected from the university students. And so 4 out of 10 admitted using drugs and alcohol to cope their problems. And 1/3 of them are suffering from loneliness, often all the time. And there is a higher rates of anxiety, loneliness, and substance abuse, and persistent self-harm kind of thoughts in second year students, and second and third year students are significantly higher risk of mental health than the freshers. And also, there is the data of the 9 and 10 struggle with feelings of anxiety, which is up by 18.7% more than the 2017 in 2022. And more than 1 in 5 people have a mental health diagnosis, either the depression or the anxiety disorder. So, what does the student mental health in England, statistics and policy, say about the mental health of students in the university? The research briefing published on the mental health issues on the 30th of May, 2023, it says that the home students have disclosed more mental health disorder in the universities, and that has increased since 2010 by 5% in 2020 to 2021. But the confidential data, as you can see, in 2022 survey, the mental health charity Student Mind, as 57% of the students have self-reported the mental health issues, and 27% said they had diagnosed mental health condition. So the consequences of mental health issues in students in university is major, as I earlier mentioned. It affects the student, the community, and the economy as a whole. And as a result, the students actually themselves, what is the impact is they are dropping out of the courses, and there's a huge impact on the funding invested on the student as well. And students themselves are losing, who are going to be a future leaders, losing their self-confidence. So, and also to a greater degree, it impacts their thoughts of self-harming and suicide on a race. So there is more data about in the research briefing, where they majorly focused on what are the factors the students are coming up, which is affecting the mental health. The major reason they found out was moving away from home, academic and financial pressures, absence of social and emotional support network, and rising living cost. And during COVID, students have reported, compared to general population, higher degree of anxiety and lesser happiness levels. So what does the university say about this? So the government actually has asserted universities have a duty of care for students' mental health, but existent in practice, is this in practice? That's the bigger question. Where there's a notable case where Harvard was the University of Bristol, where the judge found there is no statute or precedent concerning a duty of care owed by the universities to students to take reasonable steps to avoid or not cause injury, including the psychiatric injury and harm. But still, the universities are doing a lot to protect the students' mental health and well-being by collecting data, providing support services. And especially, I want to throw light on the TASO, which stands for Transforming Access and Student Outcomes in Higher Education, which is an independent charity funded by the Office of Students, a regulatory body for the higher education in England. And it focuses on two major areas: on the Student Mental Health Evidence Hub, where it collects data, surveys based on the surveys and interviews from students, and also widening participation, where it includes underrepresented groups and improving success in the lives of the ethnic minorities as an inclusive part. And it also evaluates the impact on the access and participation intervention across the student lifestyle. So I picked up this particular data, which is published in 28th of September 2023, where it has the data confirms undergraduates who attended the state schools, 15% have on average worse mental health than the peers who attended the primary school, difference that is statistically significant. And with students, 12% on average, the white students, 12% on average have a worse mental health compared to the ethnic minority group, where the ethnic minority group included here was Black Caribbean, 10%, and other Black students is 10%. Where the question here arises whether the other ethnic group, which is actually having a low statistics, are often avoidant attachment style or anxious attachment style, not to reveal the mental health for some reasons. So let's move on to why we are now talking. As I earlier mentioned, as a consequence of neglect of mental health, students actually suffer academic performance, dropouts, and poor grades, and that impacts their success level in their career. And they also have a social and emotional implications, conflicts in relationship, personal, friends, and around people around them, and the physical health manifestation as a result, where it impacts the immunity of them when they're having anxiety, which triggers attacks their own body cells and leading to multiple of conditions, majorly the neuropathy, the severe headaches, what the major complaints of students would be, or the IBS, where there's a brain gut axis connected, and other major complication, because the anti-inflammatory responses are triggered each time you're getting anxious, where we are all as humans wired with anxiety for our survival, and but this is actually not regulated in a right manner, that leads to the physical health manifestation. Now, the three essential priorities we are going to focus as a result of these four practical skills, which I'm going to reveal shortly, is you're going to see your improved academic success. You're going to see your improved concentration and engagement in your studies, and also a purpose of success in your course, whatever you're taking, and clarity in your mind where your pathway is going to lead for success. And also, it's going to improve your relationships with yourself and also people around you. And also, it would actually help you to become more vulnerable and open as you have more clarity in your thought process to yourself, and also having a reduced stigma around mental health. So, as I mentioned earlier, now we are jumping into understanding what is stress and what is emotions. Yeah. And these are two different things which we always actually intertwine, and having a chaos in our mind, labeling our emotions. That is very, very important here. And only if you can label your emotions rightly, you can actually regulate your emotions rightly. Yeah. So now I'm going to reveal what are stress and what are emotions. Stress is a body physiological and psychological response to perceived threats or challenges. Threats or challenges known as stressors. We'll come to that point later. So it involves activation of your fight or the flight responses. So it is an interconnection between your cells in your body, physiological process, and the chemicals, which is released through your hormones. And so we are, as a human, made of cells and chemicals. Yeah, we have a lot of chemistry inside us. So it is then actually coming to a point where whether we are actually regulating that chemicals in our body to our benefit. Yeah, that's the bigger question we have to ask when we have a feelings of anxiety or depression or burnout. So psychologically, when I say the chemicals, the emotions are the subjective experience, but due to the physiological arousal or cognitive appraisal, you express your behavior, yeah, your thoughts, feelings, and behavior, and based on subjective feelings, that is actually creating this label of emotions, whether you're experiencing joy, or whether you're experiencing excitement, or whether you're experiencing sadness, or whether you're experiencing fear or social anxiety, whatever the label comes to. And so this is very key in understanding. So when you talk about the stresses can be, apart from the factors identified by the policies earlier I mentioned about the moving away from the family and financial and other bits, the major categories of stress is the external and internal. Okay, so the external stresses for students majorly is the assignment deadlines, the financial pressures, and the relationship conflicts, what they, as the age actually identifies, what they go through. And the internal is the health concerns and the self-critical thoughts that comes through their own pattern of attachment style and their resilience and their self-esteem and how worthy they feel. And the stresses then causes, with the interaction of the stress and the emotion, the anxiety, depression, and the burnout. So, while there's a lot of things, your cells and the chemistry is just fighting with each other inside your body, it is not a real reality to tell someone to calm down, sit quietly in a place, and do mindfulness meditation. It's not going to work. 100% not going to work. Maybe someone who's actually having an advanced mindset and practiced meditation for years, yes. But someone as a student, you are in your exploratory age, in a curious age, where you want things to be done very quickly amongst the chaos what you're going through, which is going to shut down your body systems immediately when you feel the chaos. It's not possible for you to sit down quietly and calmly to do the meditation. So I'm going to go through what the biology is happening. So when you talk about the biology, now I'm talking to you. Yeah, my heart is beating. I'm breathing. My other organs inside me is functioning, and that's why I'm alive and talking to you right now. So this is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, which is the key players here. When you talk about the sympathetic, it's all about from your neck up to your navel. It is a chain of sympathetic ganglion that passes them. This is why when you're anxious, you feel like your gut or your throat is dried, and those sort of things you feel, or you feel like stuck something, a block in the center of your body. And these are the sympathetic ganglion that's activated when you're, for example, waking up in the morning, moving around, or doing a presentation, or doing something as a one-to-one meeting with someone. So this is the activation of your sympathetic nerve that is making you. What it actually does is, if you are not prepared your mindset, or having a fear of loss, or having a fear of something which is not going to go right, this is overactivated and release of acetylcholine and epinephrine, which are some chemicals. Yeah, a little bit of academic knowledge. I don't want to overwhelm with more of knowledge, but this is very simple terms there. And this is more responsible to all the things like the tremor and the fidgety symptoms, the fight or the flight response, what you go through with sympathetic. And what happens behind the scenes is the blood vessels dilated, and the blood rushes in your leg, and the heart rate speed. So it has an impact on your muscle, your heart rate, and your blood vessel. And as I already said, it shuts down your salivary glands and digestion, and also your reproduction, and also have a direct control over your facial, especially your eye, to see things clearly, to save you from the danger. And then if you're allowing this to happen, you're actually, the increased heart rate is increasing your respiratory rate. Yeah, and leading to hypocapnia, which is not good for your body. And so your body then senses, and the counteract of the parasympathetic happens, and you have to do some relaxation, or relax, calm down your muscle, your emotional muscle, I mean, to get your face in that moment. So those are activated by your cranial nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus, which is the longest nerve, and runs from the lower brainstem and the neck and pelvic area, where it's more of, and the bladder and the rectum. And so this changes in the hypercapnia is signaled in the sinoarterial node in your heart, and the blood vessel constricts, and the counteraction happens, okay, and the heart rate slows down. So this is all has happening in one side. So it's impossible to say to your mind to calm down. Now, there is also existing connection, how you regulate this calming down pattern, how your parasympathetic kicks on, how fast it kicks down into your system is based on the attachment styles, what you developed in your childhood. I'm going to take you to the famous attachment theory developed by the John Bowlby, who emphasizes the importance of the early caregiver-child relationship in shaping the emotional development. So widely, there are two patterns existing, yeah, secure attachment style and insecure attachment style. The secure attachment style is developed in children where their caregivers are responsive, consistent, and nurturing. And the insecure attachment style arises where the caregivers are inconsistent, yeah, and neglectful of the caregiving, and leading to an anxious and avoidant patterns. Yeah, there was an experiment actually done where the monkeys taken away from the real mother and put into a cage of two different monkeys, mother monkeys, and one mother monkey is able to give milk, okay, and but it's not warm and caring, and the other monkey is warm and caring but not able to give the milk. So the researchers were actually looking into the baby monkey is attached to whether which type of monkeys, whether the monkey which gives milk, or whether the other monkey which is actually caring and nurturing. It's interesting to know this baby monkey was more attached to the monkey which is giving warmth and care, and only went to the monkey which has milk to feed only if it's hungry. Yeah, so only to fulfill the basic needs of hunger, but were more attached to the monkey which is actually more caring and nurturing. This applies same to the human. If your caregiver is open to discussing your feelings when you're as a child, and open to navigate the feelings in more open discussion and comforting and warm, you'll be developing a secure attachment style. But if your caregiver has been a person who is not willing to discuss the feeling, yeah, and they themselves are going through some kind of emotional challenges themselves, anxiety, depression, and wanted to actually impose some kind of borders around discussing feelings, then you'll become a person who is anxious or avoidant to manipulate the care to be taken from your caregiver, because as a child you wanted a care. So if you need a care, your caregiver either actually doesn't want to discuss the feelings, so you will avoid, you put back those feelings inside you, where you're not having any questions being answered for your feelings, and you might be developing that avoidant fearful behavior from other people, so because you believe that if you discuss your feelings openly you would be detached from them. So that is an avoidant pattern. Or you might be amplifying your feeling, like a child can be crying so that the mother responds. Yeah. And that's why, like, there needs to be a boundaries, kind of a healthy boundaries to be set, that all the cues given by the child should not be attended by a more openness. There should be a reason, open discussion of why that is needed, explanation, so that the child understands what they are feeling and how the feelings are valid, and whether it is actually they're able to regulate, because every child has the inner ability to regulate the feeling, and that has been a learned behavior from the childhood. So I give much detail around the attachment. So the attachment experiences influences their how the emotional regulation develops in a human as a child, because they are learning these behavior from their caregivers. And so it's very hard for an insecure attachment pattern or anxious or avoidant attachment pattern to regulate the emotions, and they might be having a more self-harming thoughts, more suicidal thoughts, and low self-worth within themselves, and compared to a secure attachment style where they can actually build up their they will fall back, every human fall back, but they have the ability to regulate their emotions healthily and develop their confidence muscle and resilience muscle and come up in life. So now I'm going to take you to the very important part. Yeah, the 4 practical tips which you're here for the workshop. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, it is very much difficult to tell someone to calm down when already you have a chaos going on. The cells and the chemistries in your body is in a fight or the flight responses. So it is not helpful to sit calmly and quietly. So physiological sigh, as you can see, is the first number one technique which I'm going to throw light today. This has been around. This is not a new concept. It has been around since 1930 as a breathing pattern in claustrophobic people or the deep sleepers. We all have a physiological sigh, one physiological sigh every 5 minutes without our conscious awareness. Yeah, and so what it is. Yeah, so this has been recently been coming to light, more popular in the labs of Andrew Huberman and Jack Fiddleman as a technique to improve your respiratory wellness and your emotional wellness. And a lot of researchers and exciting researchers, which I was very curious about and looking into those researchers. And if you're curious, do watch those researchers by Andrew Huberman and Jack Fiddleman. And this is one thing which I wanted to teach you today, the first technique. So physiological sigh is very much important to improve your emotional regulation, calm down your vagus nerve, like calm down your sympathetic symptoms, like activate your vagus nerve, and also improve the oxygen absorption capacity inside your body, where there's more recruitment of your ASAC, which is the alveoli, the scientific term, when you do this physiological sigh. How you do it, yeah? It is actually involving very simple steps, and you need to do it only for 2 or 3 times, and you will feel better in your mood and mindset. So what are the 3 steps you need to do in that? It is, the first step is you breathe in deeply through your nose. Second step, take a second deep breath. And third step, breathe out longer. Do it again. Breathe in. You can add in a little pause between, after your second breath and your long exhalation. And that is going to help you more further to help more oxygen absorption in your body and activate that balance of sympathetic and parasympathetic in your system. So this is your first, and this is you only need to do it for 2 or 3 times, or if you have time, you can do it 5 times, and you can do it sitting inside your classroom, or if you're driving, pull your car to the side, and you can do it quickly inside your car if you're feeling very anxious or some thought patterns, intrusive thoughts coming into your mind. So this is going to give you a quick relief and a reset. I would say it's a reset for your system to calm down. And the second thing I would like to introduce is your vagus stimulation. So vagus nerve, I've explained about what is vagus nerve earlier in the slide. So these are the 3 little tips which you can activate the vagus nerve. There are more other ways, but I just wanted to very simplify and give you very simple tips. So the first one is the alternate nostril breathing, which is also called as Nadi Shuddha. And how you do it. So take your hand, you need on your hand and yourself, sit in a comfortable position and take the two fingers, yeah, and index and the middle, and keep it between your eyebrows, yeah, and put your thumb on your right nostril and your ring finger on your left nostril. Yeah. So I believe your position is set. Now, my nostrils are not closed. So you're going to breathe in. Your nostrils are open. You're not pressing any of your fingers against your nostrils. Now take a deep breath in and close your right nostril. Breathe out through your left nostril. Now breathe in through your left nostril. Close your left nostril. Breathe out through your right nostril. And this is one cycle. Now repeat the next cycle. Breathe in through your right nostrils and breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close your left and breathe out through your right. And you can repeat this cycle for 5 to 10 times and you're going to feel better. The other technique is massaging your ear. Yeah. So your ear is, if you ask what part of my body I like very much, is my ear. It's a quick way to activate your calmness inside you. Yeah. And so you're going to take one finger or two finger. And what we are focusing is there is a kind of a multiple neurons of vagus here pulling around in your outer ear, in the upper part where there's a hollow. Yeah, just above the hollow. Yeah. And it is that part with your two fingers or one finger, you're going to just slightly massage. Yeah, in circles. And you can do it for 30 seconds. While doing this, a lot of physiological changes are going to happen. So be kinder to your body. Don't press hard and very slight massage. Yeah. And you can also do the same to your inner part of your ear. Yeah, ear canal. And so it's just the inner wall, not going deeper. So putting your fingers and slightly massaging for 30 seconds is going to help you. And you can also do a slight pull of your ear. And don't be hard to yourself. So a slight pull of your ear outward. And I hope you can see. I'm just actually having a slight pull. So this is how you activate your vagus nerve with your ears. And the other best part and a quick and easy to do is humming. Yeah, saying home or humming your favorite tune that might actually trigger your vagus nerve, and that's one way to stimulate your vagus nerve and activate that calmness in your body. The third tip I would like to give you is the emotional freedom technique. The emotional freedom technique is a very good and a quick way to activate, similar to your physiological side. It needs 30 seconds or a minute as well. And this is actually using some acupressure points in your body and your verbal feelings, or you can use your deep breathing. So you can choose whether to talk to yourself or you can use your deep breathing to start with and slowly progress to talk to yourself some phrases that reinforces your confidence level and activates that vagus stimulation inside you. So you're going to follow me, and I'm going to use a couple of points in my body now, tapping, and I'm also going to use some phrases. So take a comfortable seated position and feel yourself that you're breathing. And once you are comfortable, your breathing is intact. Now you're going to take two fingers. You can do it with all the four fingers or with the two fingers. And the first point is I'm going to start tapping my karate point. And this is called the karate point. And I'm going to tap the karate point here. And 5 to 6 tapping is sufficient. And if you wanted to tap 10 tappings, it's up to your choices. But 5 to 6 is sufficient for activating the points. So you're tapping it and you're saying to yourself, there is so much going around me. I acknowledge my stress. There is so much going around me. I acknowledge my stress. There is so much going around me. I acknowledge my stress. There is so much going around me. I acknowledge my stress. Now we're going to move to the points between at the end of the eyebrows, the start point of your eyebrows, yeah, with your 2 hands and 2 fingers, and you're going to feel it feels safe with my anxiety. 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 And you're going to move to the sides of your eyes. Yeah. It feels safe to begin, let it go. 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 It feels safe to breathe deeply. 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 And I want to heal my body. 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 And moving down to the chin point, it it feels safe to let it go. 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 Under your armpit, I acknowledge all my stress. 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 It feels safe to let it go. 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 So there you finish. So you can repeat this for 30 seconds to a minute or longer, 2 minutes. So with the phrases, repeated phrases, or you can have your own choices of phrases. And that's going to help you to activate that calmness and positive self-talk to yourself, where it triggers your emotional resilience inside you and believes in yourself. It is the relationship or bonding you're developing with this emotional freedom technique. And the fourth one here is the self starter phrase. Among the cures, you're not able to do your ear massage, you're not able to do the humming, you're not able to do the emotional freedom technique. Do the physiological side and say the self starter words or phrases here. I'm capable, confident, and ready to overcome my challenge. I'm capable, confident, and ready to overcome my challenge. I'm capable, confident, and ready to overcome my challenge. Say it 3 times or 5 times to yourself, and that's going to help you to reinforce that positive self talk and kickstart your inner resilience and travel through that phase of movement with confidence. So, now, moving on to with all those four practical tips which I've just demonstrated to you, if you could actually do it in a row sequence or pick any one of them and follow it in this month of Mental Awareness Month, that will be helpful for you to honor yourself that you're caring for your mind and body, and also to help you to unlearn the patterns what you learned in your childhood, whether it's an anxious or avoidant pattern, and develop this new emotional muscle inside you. Now, without I couldn't end the workshop without been mentioning that release of oxytocin which we get with the social connection, not only in the romantic, also in the family connection, and also in the pets. Now, I want you to, as I mentioned, would like to invite you all, whoever has joined here online or whoever watching this as a replay, to join this mental muscle workout challenge. And as the mental health awareness is the month of May, the May 1st, which begins today and ends on the 31st of May. And the four practical tips I mentioned takes less than 3 minutes for you to incorporate in your daily life pattern. Yeah. And so you can actually adopt that. And once you finish the challenge throughout the month of May, every day, or at least 5 days in a week, and you can actually claim a 10% discount with the mental health packages and teletherapies with May. And the code is displayed here. Also, do rate your emotional scale, how you're feeling. And I will put on the scale how you can actually rate the rubrics of the scale, emotional scale, how you can rate your emotion. So remember, prioritizing your mental health is not only for your personal growth, but also for your academic success and also building a relationship for lifelong. So take care, seek support when needed, and continue building your emotional muscle. Now, I would like to also give you some support and resources available around in home in the UK. And the three of the places which I mentioned: Students' Mind, which is actually a UK mental health charity. And I've also earlier discussed about the data earlier in the slide. And so their vision is to empower students with mental health support, mental health toolkit throughout their student life cycle. And the next one available is Student Space, where they actually provide signposting for students for their mental health in a dropout session or self-bookable advisors. And do get use of them. They have some well-being coordinators over there, advisors there. So that's another place to seek support. And Mind is a mental health charity which offers support for students, and they provide information and advice by phone or online. So these are the support resources available around in the UK. And now at Teletherapies, we are happy to help. Yeah, we welcome you students to be a part of our support system, and we can deliver a 30 minutes free one-to-one session to understand your needs of mental health and to avoid those long waiting lists in the systems existing outside in the NHS mental health or in the university mental health system. And in the free consultation, we will be able to understand each other and your needs, and then we can tailor a package which is more feasible for you. We do understand your financial pressure and also other challenges around you. So do actually scan the code and book a 30 minutes consultation. And today, as a part of the mental health awareness and this live free workshop, 60-minute workshop, we are supporting Anxiety UK. So we would love your kind support for us as a fundraiser, and donate your feasible kind donations to the Anxiety UK, which is going straight into the Anxiety UK's funding, not to teletherapies, I would confirm, yeah. So do scan this code and support millions of people out there, students and also individuals suffering with anxiety. And sometimes the anxiety is mislabeled, and we need some research and data, and Anxiety UK is working around that. So do support this journey and to help our community as a whole. And tomorrow, there is another live 60-minute workshop in honor of World Asthma Day. And it is Breathe and Blow, Ignite Your Inner Lights, where we'll be going through awareness around the asthma management and mental health issues in asthma. And again, some practical tips like today to manage your asthma symptoms in your home. And we are also fundraising for tomorrow's event for Nelson Trust in Gloucestershire. They are doing a great work to change lives, people suffering with addictions, and in both men and women, and also to a larger community, older community as well. So do actually join the workshop tomorrow, which is the same time as today, 11:30 British Summer Time, and it's a 60-minute workshop, live free workshop, and Breathe and Blow, Ignite Your Inner Light. Now, thank you actually for joining this workshop and actually spending your precious time here and learning some useful tools to empower your mental health. And we love your support. And those who are watching this as a replay, do engage with the mental health icebreaker questionnaire earlier at the start, which we displayed here. And also join the mental health challenge. And I love to hear from you guys as a comment after this workshops, and this is actually in the YouTube channel, Breathe and Thrive with Devi, and that's the YouTube channel. This is going to be a live workshop is going to be streamed, and I'm also going to put down now. You can comment on how is your stress level today at the end of this workshop on a scale of 0 to 10. So how are you feeling? Sorry, scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling your stress level right now? And what is the technique you're using if you're stressed to calm down after hearing the alarming statistics of mental health issues in students in universities around the UK? So do put on in the chat box. Now, the floor is open for questions, and you can type on the questions if you have any, or if you wanted to comment on the workshop, how you felt the workshop, what are the things you liked, and what are the things you would see to improve. Those are some of the things which I would like to hear from you, and so that we can make better changes for the workshops tomorrow. Now, as you're actually trying to gather your thoughts on the workshops, I would like to take a moment again to thank you for being a part of this empowering workshop. Your presence and engagement mean a lot to us, especially to me. And now, do share this workshop with your friends and your network or people you care for, spreading the message around empowering and prioritizing the mental health and well-being, and which is very key as a community. We sharing is caring, and we would actually have a sense of human responsibility to empower the mental health and well-being of others. So I'd be happy if you could share this workshop around with your network. And a final thank you. And there's no questions as I can see, and I would like to bring this workshop to a close. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, 11:30 British Summer Time. And the workshop is on breathe and blow, ignite your inner light, and it's related to asthma management and the symptoms and the mental health in asthma. And do share with your friends and network if someone is suffering from asthma to attend this workshop, which is a free resource. They can actually empower themselves in their own homes. And thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.